That sound good?
Ask the right questions.
Ask the right questions.
What's up?
All right, a little delayed start, but we are on sales meeting number 35. 35. What do you got for us? Who's your number?
Number 35. I don't really like the man.
Uh-oh.
But he is back-to-back NBA Finals.
Oh.
MVP. Mr. Easy Sniper Money. Kevin Durantula. Kevin Durant, number 35.
KD, number 35. Okay, well, that doesn't really relate much to our topic today. That's okay. What our
back-to-back NBA Finals MVP, I don't know, that's kind of a big deal.
It's a big deal, but it doesn't sell printing. Or I don't know. Well, actually, it probably does, but we need to. Katie, if you got some ideas for us, we're available on the DM.
Got you.
If you're watching, I'm sure he is. But today we're talking about questions and how asking the right questions are the keys to sales. Questions. So, questions give us the answers that we need to get a yes from the client. We need to be able to work the client towards purchasing through collecting data and suggesting solutions and answers that show us as the authority and make us someone that they know, like, and trust. Because when people know you, like you, trust you, it's a lot easier for them to do business with you. So we can use questions to build a story personalized to the client to show them how our products and services can help solve their problems. So we always have to remember, I know we do this, but we have to remember to always write down every detail when we're talking to a new client or a prospect on the phone in a sales meeting. At the front counter, notes are important because when we're asking the questions, we're getting answers. If we don't write them down, we might miss some important details that can help us close the deal. So as we gather the data and we know what their timeline is, we can think about the different questions that we're asking while we're engaged in the sales process. So how can we ask better questions might be the question that you're asking when we talk about this. How can we ask better questions? So we always want to ask about previous experiences. So thinking printing wise and what we do in here. So what did their last printer do that caused them to switch or come in contact with us? Like, why are you having this meeting with your doctor office? Why are you talking to someone at the front counter that already has business cards? Like what? So you could ask something like, what did their last printer do that caused them to switch or contact us? What did their last printer do well that they liked? What did they like or dislike about the current business cards they have? Or their current vehicle wrap that they have out there, or their sign or their logo. What do they like and what do they not like about it? So their past experiences. This gives us an inside edge to know exactly what part of our process we need to focus on to make them a raving fan client. So we might think, oh, well, they want fast service. But by asking the right questions, we might find out that no, they would rather have high quality, wait 7 to 12 business days to get the best card rather than us just trying to say, well, we're the fastest.
Yeah.
So that's by asking the right questions, we know what they want and what we can do to focus on to make their experience as good as it can be. Secondly, our questions always need to be related to our pitch, so what we're trying to sell. So we don't just ask a question to ask a question. Instead of saying, how's the weather? Or something like that that's unrelated to what you're selling, say, hey, if I could solve your biggest problem right now with your printing, what would it be? So don't just have questions to ask questions. So they are important, but we don't want to ask stuff that's not related to what we're trying to accomplish. So we always want to get our answers to our questions that we ask. So when we ask a question, follow it through to the end. So if I said something like, Mr. Beverly, if you had to tell me one thing that you would like to change about your current image and representation of your company when you pass out your business card, and what that displays when you give me your card, what would that be? And you might say something like, I don't know. Simple answer. People always say, I don't know. Well, you say, Mr. Beverly, if you had to pick just one thing, what would it be? Oh, I don't know. I haven't really thought about that before. So you're kind of avoiding answering my question, right? So I'd say something like, I understand, I'm with you, But if you did think about it, if you had to guess, what would it be? And then you might say something, well, now that I'm pushing on you a little bit, I'm trying to get that answer that I asked you the question to. You might say, well, honestly, I guess maybe if I really thought about it, we have kind of a flimsy paper and it might give off a cheap look or a cheap feel, and since I'm selling high-end beard oil, I don't want to have that cheap feel when people take my business cards and have these little flimsy things. So then I'd say, Mr. Beverly, that's an excellent answer. If I upgraded the paper stock on your current card, I know you already love it, but if we got you a thicker paper stock and only cost you an extra $15, would that be something you'd like to do right now? And you'd say, sure man, let's do the deal. So when you ask a question, follow it through and get an answer. So you can do it respectfully, but if you had to guess or something like that, just get the answer out of them, because then once they actually say it, you're going to have that ammo that you can use to build it into that story, to turn it into the pitch that answers and solves all their questions and their problems. And that's all done through the answer or through the questions that we ask. So today when we're sending our emails, we're on the phone, at the counter, on a sales call. Just remember first to gather the data, to create a story that presents our product and our service as a solution. Ask about previous experiences and use that data to personalize their service on what they really want. Don't ask questions just to ask questions. Keep them related to the pitch. And always get an answer to the questions that you ask. And then finally we ask ourselves, who's got our money? And we'll go out and close the deal with them. Does that sound good?
Ask the right questions.
Ask the right questions. So that's what I got for us today. Think about our questions that we're asking while we're doing our selling. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's make it happen. Crunch time Monday.
Yes, sir.
October 22nd.
It's weekly follow-up.
This thing is gonna jump, just checking in here on the board. We're at 67. Looking a little low, but things are all about to come through and we're gonna have a nice little jump up. So keep tuned as we keep making it happen in the Dirty Kitchen. Thanks for watching.